Movie review, Arike. With screenplay written by Oma's Princess Benjamin, this film titled Arike is directed by Olubunmi Akingbola, produced by Olubunmi Dare, and executively produced by Biodun Stephen, also starring as Bamadel's mom. The faith-based family drama with a runtime of 1 hour 59 minutes is currently streaming on the latter's YouTube channel with same name. Synopsis: Arike Sonia is the only daughter of Mr. Boju Femi Jacobs, a devout Christian and a Sunday school Bible study teacher. After the death of her mother, Arike's father would do anything within his power to ensure that she lacks nothing: love, care, and affection. Arike, overcome by grief over the loss of her mother, loves her father and promises to always make him proud. The duo of father and daughter are living a quiet life until a scandalous viral video about Arike threatens to shatter their once peaceful bond. Story plot: the story is different and unique. It highlights two different styles of parenting: the traditional African style of yelling, beating, and shouting for when a child falls short as portrayed by Bamadel's mom, and the unconventional one of how talks in calmness can be just as effective, if not better, depicted by Arike's dad. The story also depicts the high-handedness of the church towards her members of families when they're faced with scandals, how they literally throw them into the lion's den. It then goes further to show how a father can serve as a safe haven for his child, shielding them from the fangs of the world. Direction, execution: the sequencing of the plot for how the scenes play out is one challenge this movie faced. The pacing could easily be a bore for many. The movie could have been executed for half the time of the duration too. The church scene, where the pastor called both father and daughter into his office, lasted for too long, as if the slow, urban nature of the movie couldn't be an issue of concern enough. The insertion of intermittent advertising of upcoming movies on same channel was even more of a distraction, unknowingly so. Who in this day and age still starts a movie with an ad of other movies before the main movie starts? And then somewhere in the middle of the movie, just when one is trying to get into rhythm, another intermission interrupts the viewing. Hey, this is 2025 and not 1995 or 2005. Not many persons subscribe to YouTube Premium services, which is devoid of YouTube ads. So, adding YouTube frequent ads on top of deliberate and intentional movie promotion adds a placement by the producer in the course of the movie was as infuriating and frustrating as being stuck in a long Lagos traffic inside a Malu bus on a hot sunny day on an empty stomach. See, there's a time and place for everything. I was gutted the whole time. Casting, performance, role delivery, while the actors are popular faces, their popularity and the story itself, which hinges on parenting, is what carries the film. This is so much so that if you replace all the actors with upcoming ones, given same sequencing and pacing as this one, many viewers may find themselves clicking away just after a few scenes in. In as much as Sonia is a good actress, in my opinion, casting her as a 16-year-old going on 17 was an absolute turnoff. Although she did manage to pull it off slightly given her cute baby face card, however, her overall outlook didn't quite fit the role. I want to believe that there are 1,001 16-year-olds in the industry that could easily have interpreted that character of Reek more effectively. I mean no offense or disrespect to anyone, please. Femi Jacobs did great with his role delivery as a cool, calm, and collected dad. He depicted what I call the hybrid style of parenting as he struck a balance between the African approach and the white man's style of parenting. One scene that particularly stood out was the way he talked with Edif Ko Jr. That's rare given the circumstances, but I guess it works depending on the person being talked to. Technical aspect. The makeup and hair was apt for the genre, decent and good looking. The picture quality is good. However, the audio is poor. Lessons: evil communication corrupts good manners. Bamidele Kiamako Zok wasn't so much of a good influence on Arike. Others may be doing it and go scot-free, but then you could get caught the one time you try it. This has to be one of the biggest lessons I've held onto for the longest. Observations or questions? 1. Was Arike truly remorseful, or she was only sorry she got caught? 2. The part where father and daughter were told to stop attending the church due to causing a stir during church service as a result of the scandal, to me is unbelievable. 3. Bamidele and Arike leaving for uni looks like disaster waiting to happen. Those two appear like they could do with more exploration, even though they had learnt the hard way. I think the only lesson they learned was do not record while at it, and not necessarily do not do it. 4. The two friends didn't appear to be deeply grounded in the religion their parents practiced. They depicted children who were just following for the sake of it. 5. How many African dads will handle things the way Bochu did? And how effective is that approach? The scene where Bamidele's mom was shouting and almost breaking down Arike's door was excessive. 6. Some of the dialogues or lines have grammatical errors. For instance, happy belated birthday, which should be belated happy birthday. Conclusion: the movie serves as a great lesson for both parents and teenagers. It is interesting in a way, but the pacing made it seem like a chore to watch, as it was a bore almost throughout. It's a movie to watch for its moral impact, but not necessarily for how well it was executed. To me, it wasn't as engaging, entertaining, nor as captivating as I had hoped. Have you seen this? What did you think? Thank you for the review, but yes, church, do that. I have seen it happen. Yes, Arike was remorseful. It was highlighted in the scene where she and her friend promised to be better. The entire duration of the movie seems long because of the advert. Take that away, the movie is 1 hour 30 minutes. Well, I was raised the way Arike was raised, and I have a younger sister who got pregnant at age 14, and we didn't throw her away. Displeasure was registered, but we were also her support system. And as casting a 30 years old, as 17 most movies involving sexual scandal, you use actors from mid-20s to late 20s to portray it if they have the look. You don't use young adult. Forever series on Netflix, all the characters who played a teen were in their 30s and late 20s. It's rule. Adolescence, the boy is 16 and he played 13. And that's because they got someone who can pull it off in that age range. Owen Cooper who played Jamie Miller in Netflix's Adolescence, is 15, going on 16. He may have been 14 as at the time of production. He also looks the part. His age and stature isn't miles away from 13 when the series was shot. On this instance, however, casting Sonia to play 16 was not a fit. It would have been more impactful if someone younger had played that role, in my opinion. Not exactly because I've watched several movies of the actress, but her body language and all was detached from the character portrayed. She tried though, but one could tell it was a miscasting. True. There are instances where an older actor could portray a younger character. This nonetheless is not a rule of thumb. Hence, you said most movies. I do love the story and its portrayal of co-parenting, but the execution, a delivery wasn't very catchy. I thought it was a very wholesome story, especially with the kind of stories we see these days. I was happy I had a movie I could watch with my nieces without fast-forwarding. I may be biased towards the movie also because Femi Jacob's character reminded me a lot of my dad, and I found myself missing him yesterday. That balance between being strict and unconditional love is something some African parents lack, and I'm glad my father had it. I'm a daddy's girl, if you can't tell already. I do agree that a younger person could have played Sonia's role. The one thing was she did okay in the movie. I would rate the movie 8. Number 2, Apostolic Church and Jehovah Witnesses disfellowship members who misbehave. Number 5, I was pregnant at 18 and my dad didn't do what the normal African dad will do. He handled it calmly. I agreed with your point for the casting of Sonia Uche. Same thing I said in my own review. Nice review from you, love the story. One of my negatives, I really disliked that they didn't find a younger actress, made it less compelling. Sonia did a great job, but didn't do it for me. Almost did stress that the movie was shorter than the 1 hour 50 due to ads. Really disliked the ads in the middle as well. Could have been a little shorter. One may argue that the gentle parenting didn't work, though I appreciate the dad's relationship with his daughter a lot. The one with the yelling mother didn't have scandal. It's the one with the gentle father that did. I kept thinking, is she going to genuinely apologize to the father? She did seem remorseful towards the end. That should have happened sooner. Nice review. In as much as it's a nice watch, that insertion of intermittent advertising of upcoming movies tire me true. I'm still struggling to finish up the movie. It wasn't coming out as I expected. I was bored, but continued watching because of the cast and production team.